Hi, my name is Chris Hannon, and I'm a parishioner at St. Edward the Confessor in Clifton Park, and I've been asked to give a reflection on Holy Week and the coronavirus and faith. It took me in a lot of different directions, but where I ended up with was the playlist in my soul. During this time, like no other we've ever seen, our faith, ancient yet ever new, is what is keeping us together, moving us forward with our new realities. Every day we rise to see how much more has changed, how much we've lost, and hopefully learned. Every night we try to fall asleep wondering, worrying about what will happen in the darkness. For me, the night is the hardest time. My mind starts racing to the scary places I talk myself out of during the day. I've spent hours in many types of prayer, alone and with others, and have found varying degrees of comfort in it. Sometimes, even the prayers seem overwhelming. I begin to think, am I praying hard enough? Am I focused enough? Is it the right prayer at the right time? And sometimes, is my prayer being heard in the collective cries being sent heavenward? I have found that during these dark, alone times at night, I had unknowingly developed a Lenten playlist in my head that has gotten me through so far. It's simple, short, and even though it's my security in the night, I find myself hearing it and singing it when I go into overload during the days. It's only got 3 songs: Hosea by Talbot, Amazing Grace, and How Can I Keep From Singing? First, Hosea by John Michael Talbot, which I had only known as Come Back to Me, calms me with its flowing feeling and the call to come home. God is calling, gently calling us back, understanding our fears and promising comfort after the storm. He's been waiting, longing for us to live deeply in Him. His promise of comfort comes with the realization that we are responsible for listening when He speaks the truth of what we need with integrity and tenderness, and that we must bend to others' calls. But to know that God is longing for me to listen, trust, and come back to Him, even when I'm terrified of what's going on, because He will teach me, gives me great peace and comfort. Second is Amazing Grace. I fell in love with Amazing Grace when my 3rd child refused to sleep, ever. I spent endless, or seemed so at the time, hours rocking him and quietly singing Amazing Grace. The gift of God's love, so freely given, is so precious that once it's truly accepted, it forms an unbreakable bedrock to help us weather any storm. The difficulty is accepting the truth that God's love is unconditional, even as the song says, for a wretch like me. His word, Jesus, the Word made flesh, secures our hopes in the resurrection. The resurrection is the truth that gives us hope and joy and eternal life. The final verse that describes our union with God, singing His praises, always gives me hope. Lastly, how can I keep from singing? I remember the first time I heard this song. It was being played with such joy and so many keyboard flourishes that I didn't want it to end. The tempo was quick and upbeat, and the Easter feelings were in the air. It was awesome. And I still love to sing it this way. But looking at the words, it brings it to a new depth. It's a song of hope that recognizes all the difficulties and strife of life, but refuses to turn away from love that's the Lord of heaven and earth. How else could we go on if not for God? God who is love. His love is planted so deeply in our souls that once we recognize it's there, we can't help but cling to it in a time of trouble. There's a quiet peace that comes from knowing that no matter what, God is with us. The tempest roaring around us can shake us, batter us, and make us feel abandoned. That's true. It's the second verse that gives me the greatest comfort. What though the tempest round me roars, I hear the truth, it liveth. What though the darkness round me close, songs in the night it giveth. The great truth that God is love, and that he lives in your soul and mine, is the bedrock of everything. It gives us our hope, and it gives us our strength. Sometimes I feel this so powerfully, I do sing. Not very well, but I do. And sometimes when things are difficult and scary or sad, the most I can manage is a pitiful squeak or an anguished cry. But still, I cling to that truth, and deep down, so deep down, it's hard to find sometimes, there is a calm, still point where God resides, and he is waiting. So I keep on singing until I can get there. Those are the songs on my playlist, songs of comfort that remind me of God's care, yet they remind me that I still have work to do in this world, work that he's given me to teach me his ways, and hopefully in doing so, show others his love for them. What's on your playlist these long nights? Is it helping you see God's love and care for you? Can sharing it bring peace and comfort to another restless soul? I pray it may be so. I also pray the joy and strength of the resurrection be with you and your loved ones always. Happy Holy Week and a blessed Easter to all.